I'd open the floor to, talk a little bit about that as well.
Yes, so here in North County, there is a lot of wealth, and there are a lot of families who are food insecure, um, housing insecure as well, but even more so food insecure. And a lot of those are military families. A lot of food insecure and or um, without a home are vets who served our country. And there are families that are working 3 jobs and still need to, it's hard for them to pay for the food they need for their families. And then COVID has, exacerbated all of this.
Yeah, and also what our community talk about on the local level, just something practical. Right here in my neighborhood, we have what's called a local food exchange, and one of the participants in this particular neighborhood event, I think, which I don't think, she actually she was going over to Carlsbad's. I don't know if you know that Carlsbad also had a local food exchange, and she was like, well, you know what? Let me just bring it to my neighborhood. It's great to go to Carlsbad. And no money's exchange. It happens, well, now it happens a little bit more often because of the fall and harvest and such. And no money, just food. People bring, but it has to be gifts from your garden or something that you make. And I just want to offer that to the community here, that you're starting something just as simple as you got a couple of, you got a bunch of tomatoes in your backyard and some collard greens, and share it. I don't know if you know of any resources like that that you've written about.
I don't, but I love it because, you can so easily have a bumper zucchini crop in just one little box in your backyard. And then maybe you won't be able to store up and eat all that zucchini. And so why not share it with your neighbors and then get some lemons in exchange if you have a, lemon tree that's producing a lot. And you can't always preserve it. We're all busy and working, or I guess not all of us, but yeah. So.
Yeah, and like I said, we had Valerie Grant. As you know, both Lisanne Basquiat and Valerie Grant have been, there's actually more people that have been nominated. This was for the Women's Advocate, but I know 2 other Hera Hub people have been nominated for awards through NABO. And one of the things that Valerie was speaking of yesterday was some practical funding, green resources. So I'm going to ask Venus Johnson, who is our campaign manager. She's going to be posting the sites again on where to go. And since Virginia has her ear to the ground, it'd be great for her to talk about it. And I'm going to ask you, Venus, if you could mention the monarch butterflies first, just because I think it's a cool thing. And Virginia, millweed and monarchs. Who knew? Maybe you did.
Yeah, I lived in Santa Cruz for 10 years, and that's what we did. That's one of the migration paths. So we lived near this eucalyptus forest where they would come from Mexico and hang out in this forest. And so we would go to see them, and we all planted milkweed. And
I mean, just something like that. How cool it is. The king of the butterflies actually does great things ecologically. So let me stop running my mouth. I'm going to turn it over to Venus, who's going to share 2 grants that you can apply for. So Venus, take it away.
Awesome. So in addition to the Monarch Butterfly grant that you can apply for, there's the California Energy Commission Fund, the electric vehicle charging or hydrogen refueling infrastructure that's needed to support large-scale conversions of transit bus fleets to zero-emission vehicles, which are called ZEVs, at multiple transit agencies. And this is actually going to be due on the 7th, October 7th, 2020. And then we also have the Department of Resources, Recycling and Recovery has the beverage container redemption pilot project grant program, which increases recycling rates and is in unserved convenience zones statewide. And that's due at the end of January 2021. So you have a lot of time to finish that one. And those are the other two.
And the monarch butterfly one, what is that one called? And is that one due soon as well? What is that?
Yeah, so there's also research grants for pesticides, and then so we have the monarch butterfly and pollinator rescue program. So if you just research that, you should see it. And then also the habitat enhancement and restoration program. So we mentioned a lot of times if you go to a lake or anything and you see like a bridge in the middle of the lake or the benches and you wonder, how did those get there? How can I enhance my habitat area? Those are the type of grants that you would use, and that's the program. So again, I'll repeat that. It's the Habitat Enhancement and Restoration Program, and then the Monarch Butterfly and Pollinator Rescue Program, and they will be in the links below.
Awesome. And a little bit of information about Venus, Virginia. She was part of the team of young folks that were doing the first iteration, getting people to, you know what, Venus, I'm going to let you say it. What did you do for the climate action plan? And again, this is another reason why, a campaign needs to be full of diversity. And this is what happens when you are full with young and not so young, to have people of different creeds, different gender identities, different cultures, different, whatever, is that you get to defer and ask people, oh, you're passionate about that. So Venus has also helped educate me. So Venus, what did you do when you were in high school? Share it with Virginia.
Awesome. So in high school, I had the amazing privilege to work with Russ Canningham, who is currently the city planner of Oceanside. And I worked on the first iteration of the CAP plan. So at that time, it was referred to as the General Plan Update. And with this, I got this opportunity by winning a contest, and winning a contest for how I viewed how Oceanside could be more sustainable in the coming years. And so I believe I got like third place in the contest, and Russ really appreciated my enthusiasm for how I could make Oceanside more sustainable. So he brought me onto the plan, and I got to work alongside him for a couple of months. We went out into the community. We would go down to the pier. We would go down to the visitor center by the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, and we would be conducting surveys where we would get to ask the citizens as well as visitors what they thought about the coastal reef rising up, or what they thought about renewable energy in Oceanside, what they thought about the infrastructure, the parking or the lack thereof. We had a very thorough survey that was dedicated to both citizens and visitors and how we could better Oceanside. So I was a huge monumental source for the outreach for the first phase of CAP, and I'm very happy to see it now in its second phase. And I just want to do a quick shout out to Russ, that you guys are doing a great job down at City Hall and really giving a very thorough aspect to CAP. So I'm very grateful to have been alongside of the program and see how much it's grown and flourished, and how dedicated you guys are. So thank you.
So Virginia, you see why I have Venus.
Yes, she's fabulous. And Kelly, I also wanted to mention that supporting our local economy is hugely important. Not just, now it's shining a light on it, but always. I'm a huge advocate for that. And by doing that, there's also a way that we can not only support our neighbors, right? Because our neighbors are the ones that own the local businesses and hire the locals to work in those businesses. But we can also impact our environment that way and sustainability that way. So anyone who thinks that of course, it's huge and it can be overwhelming, but you can take little steps. So I had mentioned the beach cleanups, but there's other little steps that you can take. For example, there is a restaurant, a family-owned restaurant, and they own one location in Encinitas, and the other location is somewhere else in North County. I don't know where, or I don't remember, but the Encinitas one is the one I go to. And the customer said, hey, your packaging, we don't want styrofoam. We want something that's compostable. So they did. They switched, but only that one location, because the customer said that's what we want. So that's the impact that we can all have by shopping local, getting to know our local business owners, and also feeling good about supporting them. So.
Yeah, and I know that we're in the process of getting in contact, speaking about local business here in Oceanside, the plot. I'm very curious how they do it, but apparently, Venus, what is it that they recycle even everything. Could you give that to me, Venus, again, what they do?
At Plot, correct?
Yeah.
It's a zero waste initiative. So essentially, I don't want to butcher this, but essentially at their restaurant, they don't waste anything. So the scraps of the vegetables, the scraps of the food, it's all somehow reusable. So they have a zero waste initiative, and it's really interesting how they work through it. I sat on a call where we got to interview Jessica Waite and see how the process of Plot as a whole. So it's very interesting to see their zero waste initiative.
Yeah, thank you, Venus. We in our campaign, we are small and mighty, so sometimes we have to divvy up things and then get together and say, okay, what did you learn? What did you learn? Who's doing what? So it's been a blessing to have Venus, so thank you.
That's fabulous. And they're probably taking the scraps and doing composting, and then either giving or selling them to the farms. We have still so many farms here growing our food, and or even local, we have community gardens. And so it's wonderful to support those, because again, it's about health and it's about food, and the community gardens donate to the San Diego Food Bank. So again, that cycles, and we can all impact our neighborhoods and what's happening. When I was growing up, it was in LA, the heart of LA, but we had chickens and we had a garden. And so we didn't waste anything. We fed the chickens the scraps. We composted and fed our garden the compost, and I think that's just the way things should be, not filling the landfill.
Yeah. And also, today is National Voter Registration Day. And yes, you support local. Yes, you grow your own food. Yes, you compost. And you also can use your vote to make a difference on who you want as your representative that is going to be green friendly. So I also have to give a big shout out to Virginia's sister, who's running in Carlsbad. I'll let Virginia introduce her a little bit, but the reason why I also want to introduce Teresa, we looked at her website when we first were doing our campaign, so I just feel like I have to say something about your sister, but I would like you to maybe just give a little shout out to Teresa, because it's also really important to know that, yes, I'm running in Oceanside. I'm going to focus a lot of attention on Oceanside, but if we forget, and David Sumaya, who Virginia also knows, he talked about his vision for North County when we talked about a vision for Oceanside, because we all need to come together. Virginia also said it too, especially something with the environment. It doesn't stop at our borders, and to be able to extend an olive branch over to Vista and Carlsbad as we talk about these issues, it's really important. So if you could speak a little bit about your sister and if she's on board with that and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, Kelly. I mean, I really have to introduce you to because you are very much in alignment, and she is working with, so where she is in Carlsbad, she's in District 4, and so she is working with the city council member who is her southern border in Carlsbad, and also the northern border in Encinitas. And she's good friends with both. So it's, again, yes, absolutely. It's about working together. She has been endorsed by Mike Levin and Tasha Boehner Horvath and the Sierra Club, and she's getting lots and lots of endorsements. She's a business owner like you are. She lives in her district, which I didn't even realize that people sometimes don't live in the district and run. I didn't even realize that was a thing. So she started her business and raised her child in her district, and she's very, very passionate about it. And she's passionate about public safety and sustainability and proactively managing infrastructure. So it's, yeah, we need these voices. That is my mission, part of my mission for E.P.I.C North County. It's to, empower people and inspire community by giving everyone in the community a voice and say, let's hear from you.
Yeah, and being able to listen, and it's not, and yes, I would love, we're so, all of us are so busy, and but I do appreciate her a lot. She doesn't know this, but thank you, Teresa, for your website. It was just wonderful, and we certainly modeled a lot of it after her, even our virtual meetings and such, because this is the nature of it. So while we're here, Venus, if you haven't done it already, Virginia, say your sister's full name and where people can find her.
Thank you, Kelly. So her name is Teresa Acosta, and she's running for Carlsbad City Council, and it's teresaacosta.org is her website, and Teresa for Carlsbad is Facebook.
Good, very good. So we're coming to the end here. We have a lot of great information. It's in the comment areas. Please, please, please find E.P.I.C North County. We want to also give you a space before we close out, Virginia, where to find the magazine. Let's just reiterate it. Let's put the website up. And if you're taking articles from the community, if someone's like, hey, I might like to submit an article, how does someone go about doing that, Virginia?
Thank you, Kelly. I just happen to have one of our print magazines right here. This is our September-October issue, and this is the covers by a local artist. It's hard to tell here, but you can see it. We have our digital issue online, and we're distributed throughout North County, various locations. Even when our county was pretty much shut down by COVID, because we're distributed in local doctor's offices and even some of the cafes that were still open for takeout and restaurants for takeout and outdoor racks. And so it's just lots of big locations. The grocery stores that accept free magazines were there. So it's just any place healthy people gather and like-minded healthy people.
And where, if someone was like, I think I might want to write an article for it, how does that process go, Virginia?
Yes, so thank you. We have a acquisitions editor at epicnorthcounty.com. Her name is Katie, and she lives in Oceanside. So, yay, Oceanside. I love Oceanside.
So do I.
Right? Oh, it's wonderful. So acquisitions editor at epicnorthcounty.com.
Okay.
You can email Katie, and she will send you the guidelines. And you don't have to be a professional writer. Hardly anyone is who submits to the magazine. We have professional editing, professional design. We're going to make you look like a star. We just want to hear what you have to say and impart your wisdom to your fellow community members.
Awesome. And and before we leave, because there's a question right here. So where do you get your awesome artwork that I see on E.P.I.C? Is it the same artist? Is it a different artist?
No, I love art, and I love supporting art. I'm a member of the Oceanside Museum of Art. Everyone should support the Oceanside Museum of Art. It's such a treasure to have in our neighborhood. So what I do is, like you said, I know a lot of people in the county, and I'm always out and about, or I was. Now I'm out and about on Zoom. And because I love art, you just attract right? What you love and what you put out there. And I look for wonderful artists. And actually, I have been collecting California artists for many years, again, since a young adult, my own art collection. I just love to support the arts.
Now,
And
so are you an artist, Virginia, yourself? Do you?
I'm an artist in waiting. I keep saying when I retire, I'm going to paint and write and walk on the beach with my dog. That's going to be how my days are spent. I have an artist inside, and so right now what I do is I support all the artists that I can instead of just doing my own art. That'll come.
Because I've always, it's one of those things I've always wanted to ask because I keep seeing all the amazing art. I'm like, is that Virginia? And I haven't really just studied who it is, but yeah, you have some awesome artwork. And then you post, shout out to your Instagram page. I'll let you include that as well, because you see this wonderful artwork there. And by the way, I'm going to have Sarah Spinks is going to come on Friday. And I said, Sarah, I want to make sure that we feature your artwork, because she has talk about reduce, reuse, recycle. She definitely uses, things in her artwork to reduce, reuse, and reuse and recycle. So before we leave, Virginia, again, just give the contact information as well as your Instagram account. Yes,
thank you. It's at E.P.I.C North County for both Instagram and Facebook, so it keeps it easy.
Good. So thank you, Facebook Live, for joining Virginia Rodriguez, a publisher of E.P.I.C North County. We want you to be sure to pick up this magazine, or you can go with your doctor's office, see if it's there. You want to write an article, please do that. And anything listed in the comments. Before I leave, we have, guess what, in Spanish. Woo! Yard signs. Yes, that's right. $200 will get you 20 yard signs, folks. So step right up. Link in the comment area. And again, Virginia Rodriguez, thank you for sharing your space with us today.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you inviting me.
All right, Facebook Live. Thank you.